Mindful and lifestyle creativity in healing. There are many ways to be creative and to use that creativity to heal from grief and loss. One of the most effective ways to find healing is through gardening. You don't even have to be good at it or know much about gardening. Interacting with nature in a creative way encourages patience, nurturing, and can be genuinely meditative. And gardening is a very inexpensive hobby, especially if you learn to grow your own foods and plants.
That's very important, especially if you're on a tight budget or a fixed income. My dad had cancer. Chemo made his hair fall out. I told him, at least you have Medicare. When you're younger and you get cancer, chemo makes all your money fall out.
I'm a huge gardener, and I have been for more than 30 years. What's changed over time is that I spend more time now concentrating on the healing properties of my garden, both physical and emotional. Spending 30 minutes in nature can be much more effective to offer solace for a hurting soul than many other more traditional forms of healing. And it's great exercise. Here's another thought. You don't even have to garden in your own space. In fact, gardening as a group activity or as volunteer work can be even more helpful. When we give our time and energy for a community project, we get back so much more. I've been an outdoor volunteer for more than 10 years, ranging from restoring hiking trails in remote areas to planting native plants surrounding an historic building. And I grew those plants myself. Some of my closest friends came out of my volunteering work in the outdoors. Working our way back from grief should involve giving ourselves to others and to nature. In this way, we spare ourselves too much alone time and too much self-pity. Look around at how beautiful this natural world is. Nature is healing, absolutely. If you've never gardened before, start small. Focus on one area of your yard to plant. Or join a group that focuses on gardening, particularly if it's a volunteer organization or a nonprofit. Then they'll train you how to help, and you'll learn so much. Personally, I'm a big fan of planting natives and restoring damaged environments. A couple years ago, I helped my local Native Plant Society put in a bunch of native plants around our local libraries. There were people there who had no experience, and people like me with lots of experience to help the newbies. If you work with native plants, you don't have to worry about exposing yourself to nasty pesticides or chemicals. Native plants don't need that, and neither does your body.
Nobody needs that. I wasn't sure about my father's cancer doctor, especially when he said, "Your dad's cancer is pretty bad, and the only hope is to expose him to enough radiation to give him superpowers."
Other creative ways to find healing include needlework. I have a couple friends who are very active in that, as I myself used to be back in medical school. In fact, the only way I survived some of those boring first and second year lectures was to crochet in class. It decreased my anxiety and helped me focus. There was a whole row of us near the top of the auditorium, both men and women, who were busy crafting with needles rather than taking copious notes. Yet our minds were more attentive and less stressed as we listened. Repetitive, steady motions of knitting, crocheting, or needlepoint are relaxing and meditative. Finally, I must mention one of the most practical and creative ways to heal. That's cooking. The culinary arts allow for creative experimentation with new foods and combination of tastes and a whole lot of sensory engagement. The sights, sounds, and smells of the kitchen, not to mention the tastes, can be extremely healing to the soul. This is especially true if you concentrate on recipes that are good for your body as well. There's less guilt that way.
My cancer patient couldn't swallow anymore. His son had been bringing specially baked desserts and brownies and wanted to know if he could make a pot suppository for his dad. I told him, sure, think of the smoke rings.
I always hated cooking until I retired. Then I started a deliberate path to unlearn my anxiety in the kitchen. Now I use recipes as suggestions, and I have no anxiety making dinner, no matter what's in the refrigerator to work with. Like any skill, it takes patience and practice, but it opens a world of creativity with a wonderful reward at the end. Dinner!
When my friend who lived in a retirement community died, her husband was suddenly surrounded by single elderly women, bringing him homemade casserole dinners and comforting him. I called them piranhas with dentures.
New to cooking? Again, start small with simple recipes, one at a time. Don't attempt a 6-course meal for 20, like a Thanksgiving dinner, to be your trial by fire. You don't need a lot of ingredients or a lot of time to make things that nourish the heart and soul, not to mention the stomach. I've been collecting recipes my husband and I have created ourselves over the last decade. We have over 700 original recipes now. Most of them are simple, fast, and good for us. We rarely go out to eat now, realizing we can make a better tasting, healthier dinner than at most of the local restaurants. And it's more nourishing on your wallet too, to cook at home. We all need healing and less stress. Find your path.